The level of greed in our country, both in the civil service and in the private sector, is horrifying. The extent to which runaway corruption continues crippling this country is a major concern. The last 15 years has been characterized with widespread looting of public funds with impunity and without prosecution of those involved, despite the extensive media reporting and expose of the scandals. Our dismay is echoed by the recent revelations of scandals in at the National Youth Service and the National Cereals and Produce Board, involving high-profile government officials in what seems to be a growing emboldening of dishonest public servants keen on swindling public resources. The continuous half-hearted efforts by government and its agencies to punish corrupt officials contribute greatly to the growth of impunity in abetting and engaging in corruption. Let us be frank to each other as Kenyans. Enough is enough. We have never had the benefit of any good government since independence in 1963. The system that we have been carrying on from independence to date allows for looting of public resources. We deserve, as citizens of this country, good governance, and publishing list of looters is not what Kenyan people need. We need action on theft of public resources. Most Kenyans live in abject poverty. Millions would be spared of poverty if senior government officials stopped pilfering from the public purse or kitty. What is disheartening is the lack of commitment from our bicameral parliament, the National Assembly and the Senate, which is supposed to play the watchdog role. The county assemblies have also no clue of what is going on within their counties. And what we hear in the procurement process in the counties is baffling and depressing. MUHURI holds that the corruption scourge being experienced is a governance issue that requires urgent attention because it compromises our security, welfare, and economy as a nation. The buck stops with the leadership, both in the national and county governments, the president and the governors, as the appointing authorities who should come out authoritatively and decisively to put the menace to a halt. More so, we remind the president of his bold promissory statements made during the State of the Nation address, during the joint session to the Senate and the National Assembly, regarding his government resolution in dealing with rampant runaway corruption. This is the time to make good of this promise to Kenyans by demanding that the decisive and speedy prosecution of those involved in greed. We are thankful to the Director of Public Prosecution, DPP, rapid response, and the commitment he's making. However, the office of the DPP should be supported, including providing adequate staffing and resources. There must be commitment from the executive, the two houses of parliament, that's the National Assembly and the Senate, the governors and the county assemblies. If all these offices do not act on the menace of corruption, we will marshal and mobilize all Kenyans to demand for good governance through persistent, mass peaceful assemblies and demonstrations in the country. It's unfortunate that we're also responding very late, but I think it's necessary to respond because now it has reached beyond limit. And I think Kenyans have been pushed to the wall for too long. I think there's need to really act now as Kenyans. If the government doesn't take serious action, especially on high-profile corruption cases, we have no option but to do assemblies, and peaceful demonstrations in the country.